Okay, I think the technical difficulties I was experiencing are done. Oh, my chat seems to be broken on the stream, so I don't know what that's about. It's lovely over here in the land of technical difficulties. Me a moment, guys. I'm just trying to sort something out. Oh, lovely. Something went wonky with the chat. And now that's all I can hear. How do I... This... Oh, lovely. For some reason, the chat box on my streaming service is playing YouTube instead of chat. And I can't make the box go away either. Oh, don't you love when things work? Or don't work? Oh, why is it playing YouTube? Because it's supposed to just be the chat. Alright, I will not have access to the stream chat today because that is a different problem that I have to sort out. I mean, I'd be more impressed if chat was playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Yeah. But, because the chat box in OBS was having me log in, but now it's showing YouTube instead of showing the chat box, which is just confusing me. It went all wonky. I don't know why, but that's a problem for another day. Technically, you guys are right on time because, as per usual, there were technical difficulties. I generally don't answer questions from the YouTube chat anyway, so I suppose it won't really be that big of an issue. And I can sort that out for next time. I would imagine, as per most things that go weird around me, I probably have to close and reopen the software, but I'm not going to do that while I'm actively streaming. I don't know. It might be easier for me to keep up if the slow mode's on, to be fair, but... It's already off, guys. It's already off. Okay, so technical difficulties aside, thank you guys for coming to the community meeting. I'm sure most people here probably know generally what's going on, but we are going to start with just a quick recap, TLDR, so to speak, of some of the stuff that's gone on this past month. Just to make sure that everyone's up to date on what's going on. So, the recent update issues. Our 1.20 update for Netherite was, in short, a failure. It's the nicest way to put it. The map came up. We were able to bring up the map with the content that we had planned, but it had many issues which caused consistent lag, constant crashes, a lot of general issues with many of the plugins. One of the major reasons for this was the old data clashing with new systems. It's not the only reason, but it was a big factor. Development of the map itself even took far longer than anticipated due to the attempts that we had to make to try to keep everyone's item and data. Within 24 hours of launch, the server had crashed dozens of times, like dozens of times. I myself was on for at least 3 hours that evening, and it crashed at least 15 times in that 3 hours. I lost track. I stopped counting. It became apparent that this was not something that could be sustained in this form any longer, unfortunately. So management approached the community about what our options were going forward and allowed everyone to weigh in with their thoughts. Most people were kind and respectful with their comments, and many people were concerned with the staff team's well-being on top of everything else, and we thank you immensely for that. After the community weighed in and voted, the choice was made to forge ahead with an RPG-style, quest-style, server for the future of Vox, in lieu of keeping Vox as it was and eventually shutting down. This RPG project is now being worked on actively by the staff team, and in the meantime there is a mostly vanilla server available to be played on that we have dubbed the Paradise 2.0. Vox also, importantly, changed hands to a new owner, Bradtanium. Brad. I'm just going with Brad. Who we are all very excited to work with on the new project. That's your little TLDR of everything that's happened up till this point, basically. And it's a lot. We understand. It's a lot. It's a lot to absorb. It's a lot to take in. It's a lot to realize that, like, everything that you've had over these years is wiped and we're starting fresh, but it is what is necessary, and the community. Vox has always been the community, and you guys wanted to stay together as a community and keep moving forward, so that's where we're going. I would also remind everyone that if you want to stay up to date on things, please make sure to keep your eyes on the Discord, the announcements channels, and also to get the updates roll for all the latest information and news when we have it available for you guys. So that's pretty much the big major update. And I'm sorry, I am having I'm not completely well. I'm just going to say this, so we're going to get through it. It's all good. So that's the big updates. We don't have anything like technically fresh to tell you yet, other than that we are working on the project, and it is something where a lot of us are very excited about doing. I am going to attempt to keep the meetings somewhat shorter, but if you guys have a lot of questions that we can answer and aren't rehashes of old questions people are asking earlier, then hopefully we'll be able to have a good Q&A here. But we had 3 pre-submitted questions, and while I go over, after I go over those, we will open the meeting questions channel for you guys to ask any additional questions that you have. As a general note, if your question is, will this new plugin be in new server? We will probably not have a list or a yes or no answer for you along those lines, because we have not finished deciding all of the content. We are not ready to release everything that we are working on, because it's not all been worked on yet. We don't know everything that's going to work and not work, because developing stuff, especially from scratch, putting things together, it is a lot easier than trying to make old things work, but it still requires testing, because sometimes you think a plugin will work for certain things and then it does not work the way that you intended it to, or it doesn't play nice, and then you have to find a replacement. So if we give you a list of all the plugins we're testing and then they end up not even in the final product, it's kind of like a waste of everyone's time. So I'm going to jump into the pre-submitted questions, and again, thank you for those who did submit questions ahead of time. Question: what sort of plugins and features will the new server have, and will any features be added at a later date to this vanilla server? You now see why I mentioned this. So right now, we do not have a full list of all the features that will be available on the new RPG project. As for the Paradise server, it does have a bit of non-vanilla content to be found in the Nether and the End, and we may add some things such as jobs. That is one thing that we have discussed doing later for testing purposes, to get you guys to get help with actually testing something that was pretty much functional. It just didn't work on the current netherite. Question: what is the plan behind things like artifacts and sentience with the new RPG aspect? Can we expect to see different ways of acquiring them, like through a lengthy quest, or will the system be the same? We do still plan to do a sentient system of some kind for the new RPG experience. The details of how they will be acquired or utilized is still to be determined. But many of you may already know, when we had the beta server of Copper up, we were testing various different things, and Jin has teased sentience a lot. We still intend to do them, but the hows and the whys for the RPG server yet to be determined. And question: will a socket system be implemented that is different to how it used to be? Will we still need to grind through RNG, or is there another system in mind? For example, having weakened fitted sockets that can be placed onto an item but not modified or overpowered like the old purple fitted sockets. Ones that could possibly have rare drops only from dungeons and can't be duplicated. So, the old socket system, including things such as fitted sockets, has long since been discontinued. I'm not sure who may or may not be aware of that, but it has long since been discontinued. The old socket system as it was is gone. You can see more information about this if you want details on why we have those answers in past community meeting notes, and we do have those available for you guys to go back and view. As for the newer system of custom enchantments that are similar to socketing that was being worked on, we will likely still be doing something along those lines, but as for the other 2 questions, more details are still to be determined on that subject. So stay tuned. I see Ray typing, and I'm not sure if I should be happy, because I feel like he's about to either drop some info, or if he's about to sass me. But, but yeah, okay. Well, like I said, we were working on one, but how it will fit into the plan, same thing as sentience. Like, we do still want to do them, but it's more like how they fit into the exact plan and how things will be acquired. That's like step 87, and we're on step 12. I might be being nice by calling it step 12, all right? But we are working very hard. There's a lot of different moving parts that go together, and lots of different things with this like project that have to be like done kind of like together at the same time. But then some things are like, you need this person to do their part before you can do your part, and then someone else is waiting for you to do your part. It's like a conga line of development. The numbers are not exact. We have not laid out an actual line of what tasks, because I'm pretty sure that line would be like 3,000 things long. At minimum. I'm probably underestimating it, honestly. So, those were the pre-submitted questions. And thank you guys for asking. They're reasonable questions to ask. Everyone, I'm sure, is curious on what we're doing and what's going on. I am now going to open the regular meeting questions channel. You should now be able to post. If you have a question, please write it down, and please follow the format listed for your questions. And also, obviously, I will try to go slow to give my note takers some time, because they are awesome and I love them. And if they don't take notes, I have to go through the VOD later. And that would mean listening to myself talk, and I already don't like doing that. Yes, Ray, I did mention that we would like to put jobs possibly on Paradise for testing purposes, so. I put it as a maybe because we all know that you can never count on everything exactly happening. It's something we'd like to do, but whether it ends up getting done is a different matter. Also, I'm just waiting a minute while people are typing in, while my note takers are typing in questions while you guys are typing them in. But thank you to you guys who were telling me to take care and everything. I appreciate it. I'm okay. I'm okay. I'm just not 100%. Also, for anyone watching on the YouTube, I currently am unable to see comments or anything of the sort on the YouTube chat. So if you do have a question, please remember that you must post it in the meeting questions channel on our Discord. Also, for anyone watching the YouTube, the image that I have up right now is one from the Valeria Haven, which we do intend to use in the new project as well. Okay, so I'm gonna jump into the questions. Do you guys plan on doing holiday events? Honestly, I'm not sure. Events as an idea, like different, like special events. A lot of RPG style games do still have those, so I don't see why we couldn't do things of that nature, but we haven't directly discussed whether they'll be like holiday based or whether they might be just based on our own sort of timeline for things. We could make up holidays in an RPG world where the plot is completely under our control. So there's a lot of different things that we could do for that. Hello, Brad. Welcome.
Yeah, we'll definitely do some holiday type quests probably. They wouldn't be anything like what you're used to on old Vox. Well, maybe similar, but it'd definitely be a different experience it being a quest versus uh like the old winter time events where you like went to a different world and stuff like that. I don't think it would be like that anymore.
Yeah, quest lines should be easy enough to do. Like even games like Final Fantasy, like 14 and stuff, they have like seasonal quest lines that you follow. A little quest line, you get some cool, fun items or experience from things of that nature. Are definitely doable. We just hadn't discussed exactly like which ones or when or any of that yet. Yeah, yeah.
If you added more details, like specific to Christmas system, I don't know what the Christmas system is, so I'm not sure what you mean by that. But yeah, it'd be specific quests geared towards whatever the holiday is.
Yeah.
And I don't know if we'd have them like in the first year. We might, because we'll be busy trying to get everything together just in the standard Gaia world versus all the extra holiday events as well.
And Yaya, we're not gonna have events every single week. Just no. Just straight up no. Like, too much work. Absolutely too much work. Alright? Okay. The next question. Copper server. Are we going to have another copper server where we can help with beta testing? So it probably won't be exactly the same concept as copper was, but we do intend to have some sort of beta for the RPG style content once we have more of it developed. Because we definitely will still need people's help with testing all of that.
Yeah, it'd probably just be the actual Gaia server we plan on using, and then whoever helped beta test would probably have their data wiped. We'll have to figure something out for that. For people who helped, I mean, we can give them something, but we don't want to have them be super farther progressed than everyone else. So you have to reset their stats in some form.
Yeah. All right. Next question. Will Vox continue to be Vanilla Plus? Will vanilla progression and an overworld to build towns in still exist or be fully replaced by RPG/quest content? So we have touched on this a bit before in some other sources, some other like meetings that we held and some discussions that were had, but I recognize not everyone may have seen or heard all of those. So the idea is to have the RPG style world be basically the main experience, but we do want people to have that ability to have a home, have items, and the concept that is currently being worked on is kind of individualized worlds or like town that you guys can utilize in kind of a contained extra side world. So it won't be exactly the same experience like having the overworld just free to explore. But you will still have the ability to have a place to build and things, have a farm and things of that nature, because that is still kind of a core Minecraft experience as well.
I think you nailed that one. I don't really have anything to add to that.
Yeah, I know. I'm waiting for my note takers to catch up with me. That's all. I don't like to go too fast because people are taking notes, because if I tried to talk and take notes at the same time, it would not happen. I have a hard time focusing on writing while talking. Plus, I feel like it lets people absorb the information for a few. Yeah, we're vibing. I feel like I'm too old to say that, but whatever. But yeah, Jads, it's more of like a pocket dimension. See, the bonus side to the fact that we stream this too is that if we miss a question or if we're not entirely, if we don't remember what we said to an answer, we can go back and look at the VOD. I just don't like listening to myself for that long in a row trying to write down the notes of what I actually said. I hope you guys don't mind listening to me, but I don't like the sound of my own voice. I think most people are like that. All right. Next question. Will there be a zombie statue in the new Valeria? So, yes, the current Haven spawn statue is intended to... the current Haven spawn is intended to stay, and there is a statue in Haven as well. And I see that you made an edit of asking if there will be a Brad statue. In Haven, we have a spot where we had like management and admins listed, kind of on display with little like statues of us. Brad is in there, or will be.
Yeah, they're armor stand size. They're not like huge statues.
We don't need huge statues of ourselves. That's just egotistical. I only requested a gigantic dragon. All right, I'm happy. You put a giant dragon, I'm happy. But yeah, so the zombie statue will still remain, as will the Crow Memorial spot. Those Haven, we spent a lot of time building Haven as the spawn, and we still intend to use that for the RPG world spawn as well. Little, I don't think we can make a statue of a single pixel. Question. Will there be ranks? Yes. There will be ranks. So the newest ranks that we had unveiled, and then it immediately was one of the things that was, actually, they were working just fine. It was, the plugins that just didn't work were annoying, honestly. But the new ranks will should mostly stay to what we showed off with those ranks. However, some prices may be adjusted when we have details on what we're going to do specifically with those. We will let you guys know. Right now, our store is also down because we didn't want people to continue to try to buy things that aren't going to function. Because we had a few people still doing that, and I personally was feeling like, oh my god, so awful about it. But we do intend to still have ranks.
And we have like new names of ranks, but you released that like previously, right?
Yeah, the new ranks that we had unveiled, the like Primordial all the way through Celestial, we still intend to use those because they were pretty solid in their intention. I assume some perks may slightly change depending on what we still have content-wise, but
Makes it change a lot.
yeah, some of them. But the thing is, we can they weren't like very established either, so it's not like we can't come up with new fun perks for them too. So. Okay. Next question. Do you still plan on having custom items, specifically like the different item rarities like Vox used to do? I'm not entirely sure about like item rarities, like having like 3 of the same kind of like weapon or anything of that nature, but we do still intend to have custom items, and a lot of them will probably be gotten through like questing and dungeoning, same kind of vibe, but we do still plan to have custom items as we go, because what would be the fun if everyone just gets a diamond sword or a netherite sword and then it's just, like, that's the end. Like, that's no fun. I can't guarantee that every custom item will be good, though, because a lot of our content makers like to troll people. And I love that right now I don't think Brad could even argue with me on that. But yeah, we do still intend to have custom items. I don't know for sure if we will reuse any of the older ideas or concepts of older items, but you never know. Things like our breaker tools, maybe. We haven't completely decided on stuff like that. But we do still plan to have custom items in some shape or form.
You know, I found out that some of those custom items from back then had like copyrighted names, so we have similar items that do the same thing, but they'd probably be renamed.
That is because Zombie liked to reference a lot of things, and he did not usually do a super great job sometimes of like altering the names either. I also think some of them may have been accidental, because I know like the magic find items, I'd seen at least one or two that I was like, oh, that's funny that it's named like that, but they were technically randomly named. It just pulled from like a bank of a bunch of names and sometimes would put together combinations that were questionable at best. Okay. Question. Any idea on the sizes of the player-owned areas? Details. I know several communities or towns are wanting to stick together. So, Navy, I mean this with all love, but I was fully expecting you to ask this question. We don't have exact details yet on the sizes of what we're going to do. There's like not a set plan yet on the how big either a single person or multiple people together will be able to quote unquote like claim in the side player owned areas yet. Mostly because we're still sorting out exactly what we want them to do and be. When we have more details for that, we will definitely fill you guys in as we have more information on that. I know one of the ideas that had been talked about with like the player sizes and stuff was that if people came together, you could combine, like say if everybody had like, this is an example number. If each person could claim like six like chunks, then if you work together with someone, you could have a total of like 12 and things of that nature. Like we did discuss compounding for that, but yeah. Okay. Question. What's your guys' side of the story regarding Tormental's post on the subreddit? Details. As a recently returning player and someone who trolled the subreddit as soon as I came back, I happened to see a post on the subreddit posted by Tormental. I don't want to start drama, but I personally would like to hear your guys' side of the story regarding it. So, it is... Obviously, it is drama related. I don't mind. I can answer it if you'd like. So, Torm was on staff for a while. He had also previously worked with Zombie as a commission artist. Torm was requesting credit for his part in the start of the Gaia concept. However, after efforts put forward to offer logistically what was reasonable, considering the idea and content being used based on our knowledge, Torm declined the offer we had and seemed quite unhappy. And drama devolved from there.
I mean, there's not much more to it. A lot of what he said in his video we can disprove pretty easily, but we're just not in the habit of trying to start a bunch of drama, especially on YouTube or in the Discord or anything like that. We'd rather just move on. We have better things to do, like create the Gaia server. So
yeah. If anyone does have questions on that subject in any way, shape, or form, I advise you to just come to management if you'd like to discuss it, but I don't know what else we could necessarily say, but you are welcome to come talk to myself, Brad, about it if you would like. So.
yeah, feel free to add me if you want to talk about it. I'll show my cards, I guess, put it that way.
I think my settings are that you can talk to me if you're just in a server with me. I don't think you have to add me, but like if you need to, go right ahead. Alright. So, moving on. Question. Jobs gonna make a comeback. Details. New currency plan going to be the same? So, Jobs absolutely will. Ray worked very hard on that system. He would also, we would like to try to put it on Paradise for further testing and to get more feedback and input on it as well. The currency, I think, probably will stay the same, possibly more simplified. I'm not really 100% sure on that. It will probably depend on what ties in best with what Ray wants to do with the jobs. Okay, I see some more people typing in the meeting questions, so we'll wait. And thank you guys for being here, having questions and listening and hanging out. And thank you guys just in general for supporting the community. Oh, yes, of course. Our admins are also usually more than willing to also discuss things. So if anybody needs anything, most staff is willing to talk. It's just not not every staff member works in the same area. So depending on your question, you might have to ask someone else. But Burb is an awesome person to talk to. Nate, I would also say don't worry too much about like re-asking a question unless you heard a question or whatever, and are just trying to get me to say something more that's different. But if you have a question you're not sure if it's asked, not everybody stays the entire time, so it's okay. I understand. I don't bite people's heads off until they've asked like the same question like 3 times in a row in like 3 meetings in a row. And the answer's still the same. All right. Question. How is staff doing? Details. There was a lot of talk about stress and burnout prior to the decision to start fresh with Gaia. Is the staff doing better with the new workload? I would say that in general, burnout is always a problem for everyone, no matter kind of where you are. And we all understand that we all behind the screens have real lives, and things do take higher precedence over like life. Your real life, your behind the screen life should always take a higher precedence than what is still a game. So that's always a problem, balancing that screen time versus your life balance. And working so hard in like one aspect can easily burn you out. As Esther has now demonstrated. I would say that I feel like the general vibe throughout the staff team right now has been a little bit more, I would say, relaxed to a degree, because we always, a lot of us get very excited about a new project, and a new project that we can completely build from scratch without having to make sure that we've considered how are we keeping old data, what are we doing, are we refunding things, are we swapping things, and all of that tends to bog down the process. It's a lot more refreshing to be able to work on something and just go with it, just run with it. So I would say I personally feel like it's been a bit more relaxing. There's still a decent amount of stress trying to get different tasks done or work on different projects and things of that nature, but I would like to think that it's better. However, I cannot speak for every single staff member because I don't know everything that's going on in everyone's life. So I feel like Ray and Fred specifically kind of jumped like head first into all of it. Ray does that a lot, though. Ray does not know how to take a break. I took like 2 days off for my birthday and I felt guilty, so I understand it, though. Okay. Let's see. Next. Okay, Kilo, I said I took 2 days off for my birthday. I took the day before and the day of my party off for my birthday. Technically, I didn't do much on the day after either, to be fair. So, like, I took a weekend. The fact that I took a weekend is probably impressive enough already, alright? But yeah, question about these custom things on Paradise. Any plans to implement them on Gaia? Details: spellbooks, custom summonable bosses, super end, super nether, etc. So I believe that the custom end and the custom nether are due to a like data pack. Believe that was mentioned. I'm not sure if we would be using that. I don't think we plan to use that specifically for Gaia. Okay. Thank you.
We're using Stellaris and Incendium, and there's no plan to use those on Gaia. It was just
Thank
to
you.
add something to the Paradise server to have fun with for now.
However, the concepts of like spells, summonable bosses, things like that, those might not, but like the exact specific custom things that we currently have, no. So. The only thing that I hate with like Google Docs, honestly, when we're doing the notes in them, is that people show up as like anonymous whatever, and I want to say, you know, like, oh, I'm waiting for someone to finish typing, but my brain is like, I do not want to call someone an anonymous hippo. That just sounds rude, right? Yeah, well, I know it's about like signing in and stuff, but like it's still rude to call someone an anonymous hippo. Like, Google Docs, please. All right. Okay, so next question. How will classes be handled? Will classes and races be in a similar format? For example, will you be keeping the idea of mages, archers, and warriors and having subclasses among them? I loved being a mud mage. First of all, I didn't even know mud mage was a thing. That sounds fun. Secondly, I do believe we plan to continue with the class system, or with a class system. I believe that was what Fred was working on still. Okay, Fred answered. Thank you, Fred. So the class system is in the works. We previously tested the new system on Copper and on Live for a short while. Overall, the new system is like vastly different from the old class system. So, and it will likely be changing a little as we move over to Gaia, but should have the same amount of like class specific content for the release of Gaia, if not some more. I'm honestly gonna straight up just copy your answer, Fred. Thank you. Alright, question. Oh. Moved while I was trying to react. Got any of them juicy spoilers to show us? No. Stay tuned. Maybe later.
Stick around and find out. Come on this crazy journey with us.
Question. Will we have custom armor trims or recipes for them, or custom textures for the armor trims? No clue. Honestly. Again, with kind of like, because back to the question that had asked about custom items, we're still sorting out exactly what we're going to do and how we're going to do it. So while we can think maybe we'll have custom armor trims, or maybe the ability to at least armor trim custom items, I don't know, that's still all TBD, to be determined. So yeah, I realize that a lot of people's questions about various different subjects are pretty much the answer is just wait and see. And I know that's not a very satisfying answer, but hopefully you guys think I'm nicer than the way Jen put it to me. But yeah, it's development is a process, and I was trying to explain it before, and I'm talking development in the sense of like we're developing all this content, not like actual developers who like edit code. But both of those are a process, and I know next to nothing about one of them. Anyway. But yeah, when we do have some like spoilers or things to show off, I'd be more than happy to show some stuff off. We just don't currently have anything that's really ready for that. Yeah, I'm trying to like think. I cannot think of anything that we could necessarily show off. Yeah. Total blank. Okay, but right, I'm pretty sure I probably know at least some of the stuff you're working on, since that's my job. It's just not ready to be told. Anyway, just not kidding, no. If anybody has any further questions, please try to put them in the meeting questions channel now. If we go a couple minutes without any more questions, I'm probably going to end the meeting. So if you have questions, please ask them. I recognize that there is a slow mode in there, so I'm trying to give some time. But
since we're waiting, no, the staff ranks are what we already released with the Primordial and Celestial. They rework in terms of
well, he's asking.
With them and what you received.
He's asking about staff ranks. Staff ranks. So no.
That's what I was gonna say. Actually, because
no.
We're waiting for more questions. Doesn't actually say we could talk about head admin Burb, new admin Skies, new Mittens, new architects.
Yeah, so we do have some new staff members and a little bit of a kind of not really a big change, but like we have appointed, Brad has appointed Burb head admin, so ultimately in charge of the admin team and disciplinary. Very similar to how the different development departments have a PM at the top. But that doesn't really change any of the staff ranks themselves, and we at this time don't currently intend to change them. So I believe it's pinned somewhere. I think it's pinned in announcements. We had put a chart of what kind of the flow of staff was, and that is still what it will be. I think we pinned it somewhere. I have no idea where. I'll find it later. As for new staff members, Skies was promoted to admin, which is great. Awesome. Thank you, Skies. We also have brought on some new MITs. We have brought on a couple of new architects. We are still interested in looking for more staff members, so if you do have any interest, please feel free to apply for whatever available role you think you would best fit into. I'm gonna slight spoiler, there are several applicants right now for CMs who will probably be getting messages soon to schedule some interviews. So if that's you, surprise. But yeah, if you have any interest at all in being a staff member, or you think you have useful skills to help out, please don't hesitate to apply. I just cracked my fingers. I
have to run.
Okay, Brad. I think we're just about wrapped up anyway.
So. Yeah, I figured you could wrap it up and I could just dip out right now because my food's getting cold.
Yes, go eat, sir. Go eat, sir. I can wrap this. All right,
everyone,
so.
And I hope we have a successful launch with Guy and everything. And until next time, goodbye.
Alright, I am gonna close the meeting questions channel now. As usual, we thank you guys for coming. We thank you guys for being here to get updates on the server and information. If you have further questions, get a chance to ask, feel free to reach out to a staff member. Feel free to just ask even in general. As long as you remember to stay polite and obey all the server rules, we won't yell at you. But yeah, if you have further questions on stuff and you just want some answers, we can still do them not in an official meeting. So I hope you guys are looking forward to all of the content that we have planned. And again, I'm just gonna, if you have interest in being a staff member, please don't hesitate to apply. Basically, we're open to just about every department, quote unquote, so there's really no like, oh, they're probably full. Like, don't get bogged down in that. Especially if you have any talent in writing and are interested in helping develop quests for the RPG world, don't hesitate to apply for CM, because I want a nice, large writing team behind me. And I'm sure Yaya and Jordy would enjoy having more people to bounce ideas off of, too. Mood. And as always, if you do have suggestions for anything content related, you can make a post on our Reddit, or you can use the suggestions channel in the Discord. Same thing for staff applications. We do have the forum channel in the Discord for staff applications, and it has all of the descriptions there. And I will say, if you have any experience with working with plugins, consider GM, because being completely honest, the more GMs we have, the faster we could actually get some of these things done. Obviously, the smaller the team, it takes longer. And that's why a lot of times you guys have to wait on stuff, is it just takes longer sometimes to get stuff pushed out. Because most of us don't want, the couple of GMs we have to just never do anything else or sleep. I'm not convinced Ray knows how to sleep at this point, and I'm very concerned for him. CMs mostly do writing related tasks. There are technically two subsets of CMs, which is public relations, which is like the social media kind of stuff, as well as writing, but technically both sides can do stuff like that. Like, we've had some really truly great suggestions on writing related content from Apox, who is currently our social media manager. We don't necessarily need more than one of those at a time, but it's not like there's no rule that says we can't. Alright, so the people who like to joke that I don't sleep, you guys need to redirect that to Ray. But, yeah. If you guys have any questions about staff-related tasks, you can also contact a staff member who works in the area that you have interest in, and we can definitely help fill you in on that. So, thank you guys for coming, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day. I almost clicked delete channel instead of end event. I'm tired. I'm tired. Good night, guys. Do you want the bar? I'm still live. And for YouTube, thank you guys for being here, and I will talk to you guys later. Hearts.